Great pleasure to introduce Márta Ladjánszki, who I think I don't need to introduce at all because you all know her. She is a director of L1 Festival Association and also a choreographer whose work we have just seen. And Joanna Leśniowska from Poland, who is in Poland mostly perceived and associated as curator, dance critic, manager, but she's also a dramaturg and sometimes choreographer, and this evening she's a dancer, a performer. And to not make it longer, my first question is, who is Josza?
Actually, it's a person, for sure, female person, and it's somehow between a real person and an imagined person. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's definitely a person. And I think that on the beginning it was probably in the mind of Márta more real person, or designed after a real person, but the more it become ready, it gained its own life. I have a feeling it's really like a persona that has for sure a lot from me and a lot from Márta, but also became an independent character, and it became now the most challenging to give her my body and to give her also my personality, but always keep in mind also another vision and still ask what this person needs at the moment. So I think that it sounds of course a little bit blah blah, but yeah, I feel more and more that it's Josza.
And she has her own story, which is developing somehow on stage.
Actually, if I create a new work, I never create a so-called story.
Yes.
If you tell me this word story, it's written material, appears, and somehow I feel that you can really read everything. I'm more focused on the personality with whom I work and the vocabulary of the body.
Yeah, maybe story is not a good word because it has quite conservative associations with ghetto and so on. But on the other hand, even if there is not any story, I see a transformation. So it's about changing. It's dramaturgy of change and not dramaturgy of being her. But on the other hand, your being her here is very somehow personal, and I'm very curious how was your perception of the audience today? How do you feel with this audience?
Yeah, so you're a great audience, of course. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, Josza has his own life, so in a way I have a lot of moments in which I in a way witness the presence of people, and it's of course very tricky how to not really get influenced but faces and images, but the attention of the audience gives me the strength to be there. It's a very difficult moment when I'm backwards and when I'm a little bit in activity. Every performer can confirm probably it's a job, we go for it and we have our own stories, but the moment we face you, for me it was the most difficult moment of the piece. It is still, because I need to find a kind of the mode of being there, not directing anything to you, but also absorbing and sending an energy and my presence so close. So it's in that way, yeah, actually as far, it was always a very strong moment, and I never witnessed anything from audience that would disturb me being there, but I'm very, very grateful for it, so that I can really try to be there. So for me it's also a very special project because it's the first time when somebody, a choreographer, asked me to perform and to become a center of her interest. And as Wojtek mentioned, usually it is all my interest going to artists, because I run a venue in Poland and I support young artists, and it's a lot to be supportive for other people. And here really somebody offered me a wonderful opportunity to be myself in a special position that probably I don't know if I ever experience again. Yeah, this is also a very special thing, because I perform it also in this very, very challenging understanding that I must create and bring the whole world on this stage. And thank God Jolt is always with me there, because it's always nice to have this, also his presence, although we don't work together, we don't have any really, maybe very last moment. No, we don't have anything together. So it's a very interesting state of being alone and not alone at all. So I really appreciate this experience, and it's very challenging for somebody who's not a professional performer. I mean, not trained as a performer. Maybe in schools, the young people are taught how to experience, how to deal with this situation. But for me, it is really a challenge to be in the center of this attention, to somehow turn the world and create the world for myself, because as you notice, I change a lot, moods and play. It's a quite playfulness thing, so it's a challenge.
Okay, Márta, is it hard to work with someone who used to be an outer eye during the process? To be outside and used to have some power?
From this point of view, I don't have any experience, because from the very beginning we made a deal that she will be not dramaturg of my piece. And she really wanted to be a performer, and she was really open to every kind of need from my perspective. And so the hard moment was more that we know each other from ages, but not from a working situation. And we had to learn ourselves in a way what to give and what to just witness, and yeah, this is also life. How we were just starting to listen to each other.
Yes, I remember that I made my first ever dance interview with you, Márta, in the venue of Joanna in, I think, 206, something like this. Okay. So I also have this kind of participation in these stories about. I treat it somehow personal. And I would like to ask you who is responsible for the lights, because I don't see.
I tried to make signs for them. Joel, Tomasz. Tomasz Moravec from Czech Republic and Joel Varga from Hungary.
Because I would like to ask you about on which moment the lights enter the stage during the process, because I find them very important to include the audience and on the other hand to build some kind, in the same time include the audience and build some kind of border, because you use contrast, backlights, and it makes us visible all the time. So, in which moment you entered the process?
I came very early in the beginning, so I had a chance like to. We had a residency in Bratislava, in Slovakia, and we worked there like I think 4 or 5 days, and I already said something. So in the whole process, I had like 14 days, I think, to work with the lights. So which was perfect for me. Actually, it happened for the first time in my career. And so I was trying to be creative, and I think it's visible. So, and about this idea, I don't know if it's possible, because some of my colleagues are saying that we cannot say that we, if we work with some intuition in the lights, because it's still like very technical equipment, let's say. So we are always limited by the technique. So, but in one way, I have to say that there was some kind of like, intuition. The idea of the wall was actually, it came from Márta, because she wanted to have on the beginning like image of that the stage is actually on the, or the audience is actually on the opposite side, that actually they watch the audience. So, and we are like on the stage. So I don't know if you had this kind of feeling, but this was a plan. And any question?
Okay, I think that I will pass the mic to the audience, because I'm sure that you have lots of questions to the artist. So who will be first?
Yeah.
Which cable is longer?
I don't know.
Mine.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just think I didn't understand the last thing you said, like how it would have been originally with the light.
The idea was that the beginning is that they are watching this wall. So the idea was that actually they are watching to the public. So the front is opposite, if you got it, no?
So like we're watching the performance from behind?
Yes, from the stage actually. So that's why this lighting wall is there, that actually we light them from the front, but it's back. So.
I just have a comment for Joanna, right? Yeah. You said you haven't been performing much, and yet you have a very strong presence throughout the entire piece. And I'm really surprised at what you said, that you're normally the outer person and you don't really do things on stage, and you do not perform much because you're 100% there.
You have a dancer's training, don't you?
No. I'm a theater scientist actually. I was studying theater science, and then very early studying theater, I started to occupy myself with dance. And I was one of the very first people in Poland that was regularly professionally writing on dance. And I kind of started to publish in a major theater magazine, and so I made dance my kind of thing. And then in 2004 I had an opportunity to create a venue in Poznań, and this is how I established first in Poland and as far the only one regular dance venue. So it's already 8 years when we present works, when we give people residencies, we really support development of Polish choreography. And this is the center that is running the whole year, so we have a full programmation with the festival at the end, International Festival, with a lot of premieres. It's like 40-50 events within the year, with a very strong training program for professionals. So in a way I train choreographers. Yeah, and in between, in meantime, because of the time when I started, in Poland you couldn't really study dance, and I very soon became interested in avant-garde choreography, which is even not dance theater, which somehow sounds familiar to all of us. So the only way to gain knowledge was through practice. So I started to really try out things and get in contact close with artists, which was easy. I was hosting them in Poznań also, and that way I went through many experiences, including dancing, including performing, including doing works, including being a dramaturg, being an artistic coach. I mean, wow, it's quite a lot of things that I do, but I somehow always treat it as a kind of a research for my general work, as a curator of the place, of the venue, and like really, I love to be with artists in a studio and help them in the way they need the most. So in a way, this kind of empathy to what is the most needed from the artist, what kind of dialogue, and through this dialogue to learn also what the artists usually need, how they work, to understand them better, to support them better. This is the main goal of my practice in a way. But yes, I don't have really any professional, nor dance, nor theater like training. Of course, like as each of us, I've been doing theater since I was a teenager and being always active. but I never thought in my life that I would become a soloist for Márta Ladjánszki. So it was really for me it was really a great honor and a great challenge. Yeah, and I still fight. I mean, every time is because I mean, for me it's very difficult to in a way, Márta mentioned it, but not only to switch the role and only accept that I don't, because I'm quite a person with quite strong opinions usually, so like to keep my mouth shut. When she was trying out something, I said no, after my dead body I'm not gonna do it, or I hate this image or something. So it was really like a personal challenge to accept it, and I found enormous pleasure in it at the end. So I wish every performer with a strong opinions to give it a try once, and it's a beautiful also opportunity because Márta has her own world in a way, her own imagery. So I always keep saying that we all three, Zsolt and Tomek and me, we in a way went on a trip into her world, and this is also challenging in a time when we are or more like to think about ourselves as creators. So like to create within her world and be sensitive to her wishes and images and read from her images, it's a challenge. And then the question, how still to be myself and to bring my body and to bring my story, and so it's an ongoing fight going on inside. So maybe this is why I'm so there, because I really always try hard. Yes?
I have a question for Márta. So have you worked with, I don't want to say non-dancers, but I guess that's somebody who's not a dancer before. And
No. I must confess, I was before on stage also dancing. So she saw me actually dancing, and I was actually performing at L1 festival 2 years ago. So actually, no. I really went through these different experiences. I don't consider myself a professional dancer. You can call me performer. But yeah, I must confess, I have this.
I like the idea the feeling as well, to invite performers, and I don't care about if they are trained on the regular way or not. For me, what is really important is the personality, as I told you, that they respect for the work itself and also for my images. Whoever worked with me, in the latest years I started to work with improvisation, but I always try to use the material of the one who I'm working with, and this gives me the chance not to kill them on that way that I force to do this and that, but they also can find their own rhythm. And with Joanna, it was, we started this process and we had a kind of discovery period. Then of course I have seen her and I have seen some of the photos from the works, what she did with Tovarsistko Gymnastična. But I had an image in my head about her, as we know each other. Yeah, it's already almost 9 or 8 years. And yeah, I like the fact if somebody is open to get deeper in him or herself, and I just try to be a partner in this trip.
And the performance today has elements of improvisation?
Not really. I use the improvisation during the working process. But in this case, after some days or 10 days we spent in Poznan, just 2 of us, without the boys, and at the beginning, and somehow we got to the point that Joanna needed a choreography to be practiced, and also we also made Horton classes, which is a technical training for the body. So there was a building up period, and then somehow we got to the fact that I again choreographed the movement, And of course, I had images in my head as we did this short preparation section. And I somehow tried to combine my way of dancing or being in the body with her movements. But it was a choreography from the beginning as we started to work, and we were quite lucky because already in January we had every movement material, and we had the premiere in March. So that's why Tomasz had also not an easy job, but a different one, because the material was already there.
I have another question to solve. The girls have said that you didn't really have many rehearsals together. Okay. So you rehearsed together with Joanna, yes? Okay. Can you tell me something about it, about the process of making, because the music is improvisation, yes?
No, the music is not improvised. Even though we sing like that, it's not improvised.
Okay.
And I was only absent on the first session. The second I was already present, and the music, happened during the piece happened, like in a parallel way.
Yeah, because with the light it makes this kind of ambient, that some kind of trance you get into, and the moment of cutting the music is, I think, the sharpest moment of this performance.
It was not my idea.
Okay. So, maybe last question. Andrea?
I always wanted to ask, the title is Yosha Portrait. How much can we consider still it as an auto-portrait? Question to Márta.
I didn't get it.
Someone heard it?
Tell in Hungarian.
No, then I repeat louder. So the title of the piece is Yosha Portrait. But my question is to you, how much we can still consider the performance as an auto-portrait?
Art portrait of Márta or Joanna?
I think what I was thinking to ask you what the male audience members got from the piece, because I feel that it's a feminine performance in a way, and but I don't really want to do anything like a woman's story, or I'm not so much interested into this. But in a way, it's still that both of us are women, and yeah, it's my word for sure.
Are you exploring what's common between you?
Pardon?
Are you exploring what you have in common?
I must say that I always have a feeling that I have something in common with Márta. I don't know what was it, but it's somehow... And I found it quite magical that this is this choreographer that asked me, actually. And I really enjoyed the fact that it took us so long. When she asked me, I knew, okay, this is not an accident, this is not a temporary thing, and she probably really wants me, and which actually probably, I don't know if I would agree to any like sudden proposal, but for this I was really curious, and I always admire Márta as a performer also, because she's my, like, wow, she can teach me, I can really enjoy this, and I can learn a lot. So in a way, I don't know how do you feel, but I'm very happy about this connection, because I found that in the work, maybe not in the work you see, but in the work we did, we found this kind of understanding. And I always laughed that I made a soft dramaturgy, like I learned how to like think loud, and she learned how not to reject it immediately, but maybe go home and think about it. So in that way we found ways, and we really met halfway. And yeah, and I remember also that whenever from the moment we said that we're gonna do something together, there were two comments. First was, all of them were quite enthusiastic, which was nice, but then people thought we're gonna kill each other. You are both so strong, and we don't believe you can do it. And then very often after seeing us together, people were saying, yeah, I really see something kind in this. So maybe that might work. So I hope it worked a little at the end.
Actually, a lot of people who already see the piece told me that they see me on stage. And I think this is good, because nobody else could do this piece, just me. And I needed Joanna for this. And actually I'm not so much conceptual, so I'm choosing by heart. And as with Joel, we are regularly working together. But with Tomasz, it was the very first time. But also we knew each other from earlier. And yeah, somehow this whole process was more like a friend gathering, or just meeting and who wanted to work together, and now we got to the point. And in this case, I didn't really make any thought what I would like to say, just coming back to the story. I just wanted to show a woman, and somehow it's important that she is not alone, although she's alone. She's working alone, but somehow we have the supportive energy of the music, and I like the idea that the musician is so much not the same as the performer, the female performer. I like the male energy, and I like that, yeah, it's, you can take however you wish to. I have my own story, but I don't really want to share it, because it's more open if you just witness what happens with you. So it's a first step.
And there will be another step of your collaboration?
We hope so. Joanna has an idea, and we already started to just build up images.
I wanted to challenge Márta a little, and now she's dancing for me. So the next step is that I must invent some Horton-like training that she doesn't know and I can do and everything. No, but I really, I was so, in a way, I was so inspired by this experience, and of being so inspired by Márta's work and the way she works, and Joel. I always have a feeling we are a little family unit now. So in a good sense of the way, and I really imagined also to put her cosmos into mine, which is totally different than what you've seen today. And so let's see what comes out from this meeting. I hope next year we're gonna premiere this.
So, thank you very much for the talk, and we proceed to the next performance. Thank you very much.